Okay, let's all stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm going to ask a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve the agenda dated May 18th, 2020.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Let's go ahead and approve the minutes from last week.
I didn't have anything.
I didn't either.
Looked fine to me.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes of May the 11th as presented.
I will second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay, public input. Shaylee, Health Director, Health Department Director. Do we have you?
Yeah, good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
So we'll start off with the COVID update first, and then I have some PCNs that need approved as well afterwards. So
Okay.
first of all, this morning we have 18 recovered and 1 hospitalized out of the 26 total. We also have began to put our public releases. We're translating them in Spanish as well, and those have been put on the website. So we just had that request, and I was able to work with another health department to get that put out. So last week I also applied for a health department COVID-19 support grant through Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we were awarded $5,000. So that was, I got that news on Friday. So that was a good weekend starter. Today also marks phase 1.5 of the governor's reopening plan, and phase 2 is set for June 1st. So there isn't a local or more restrictive order on top of this phase that I put in place. So our garage sales, self-serve food and beverages, playground equipment, all of that stuff can technically open up today. We do and have been encouraging businesses to just make sure that they're disinfecting their areas according to the FDA and CDC guidelines if they do decide to open. There's some that they just haven't been able to either get the cleaning supplies or anything like that, and so they're not opening until later on, but some people are able to do that. So they will be opening up today, and then it is up to the local cities to decide if they want to open their park equipment or not. Some cities already have in place a cleaning schedule of their equipment. Others don't and don't have the means to afford to do that. So some of them are deciding to stay closed as well. And then of course our nail salons, hair salons, and barber shops, everybody can open up today in that category as long as it's for appointments only. And then gyms and fitness centers are also allowed to open today as long as they don't have any in-person group classes. So 2 exciting things that was announced last week. I think the general public is pretty excited about that. So we're still encouraging cloth face coverings and homemade masks when out in public. And then we also still have some of our donated masks available for businesses to use for their employees. So if there's any businesses or anyone who needs that for their employees, they can just holler at us and we'll get you some because we still have some left. Other than that, that's all I have for COVID this morning.
Any questions?
Yeah, Shaylee, on you have, let's see, 18 that have recovered. So we're still have 8 that are, one of course is in the hospital. So what's the status of the other 7 that haven't, are they?
They are still like recovering at home. So
Okay.
they're either like still symptomatic or maybe their symptoms have started to lessen, but they're still not being considered recovered because they could potentially still be infectious with their symptoms.
Okay, so they still then have to go through a quarantine yet for another
Right.
2 weeks after that, or?
Nope. So it'll just be kind of what happens, the time frame for somebody being able to come out of isolation after testing positive is either 10 days after symptom onset or 3 days after being fever-free with no medication helping that, or significant improvement of symptoms. So usually it's whichever of that is longer. So if somebody is like very hardly sick at all, then the minimum is 10 days they're out no matter what from their symptom onset. If somebody is more sick and it's taking longer than that, then it's just 72 hours after they resolve.
Okay. What about the time length between cases? Is that stretching out now to where we're getting several days between cases versus?
Yeah, it is. It's been great, actually. I think our record before our last stint was like 10 days without a new case. And now I have to look back and count, but I think we might be even past that at this point or right at it. So might be setting a new record this week without a new case.
Okay, good.
Shaylee, what about the number of tests that are being performed? Is that decreasing or staying steady, or?
It's pretty steady. This morning when I looked what we had in our database, we had over 530 tests done. So
Very
it's
good.
averaged anywhere from, I would say, the average is probably 10 people a day, I would guess, that we're testing, not including people that are getting tested for like pre-op reasons, because some hospitals are starting to just include that in their pre-op testing just to make sure that nobody's getting operated on that has COVID.
Mhm.
So Shaylee, is your office open today for the public, or are you still taking appointments?
We are still closed right now. People, usually what happens if somebody isn't aware that we're just doing appointments, they'll get to the door and then see that our sign's posted that just says to call. And usually we can just, because of how our appointments are spaced out, usually we can see them right then when they walk in, but we're still doing appointments only. So we do everything out in their vehicle and then have them come in when it's all ready to go at the very end.
What about supplies, Shaylee? You have plenty of supplies. Is that a problem?
Yeah, we were pretty well stocked before all of this started, and it hasn't been an issue getting any more as far as like our supplies that we need for appointments and stuff like that. That hasn't been a problem.
Okay. Well, congratulations on the grant, Shaylee.
Thank you.
That's going to surely be helpful. Did you want to present the PCNs at this time?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So of course our outside world keeps spinning. I have 3 staff members that are coming up on their 1-year anniversaries. So my billing specialist, she's done incredible. I mean, you guys have seen how our write-off amounts have actually significantly decreased for whatever reason. So she's been a huge help with trying to figure out what we need to adjust on our side to get that done. She is the supervisor of our clerks and receptionists. So she's been fantastic with trying to redo our policies and procedures to make sure that their job is being done to the best of their ability. But I am just asking that she would be moved to 12D on the grade and step chart just to reflect how great of a job she's done and really just stepping up in her position.
And this is Christina Stocks?
Correct.
Yes. Okay. Any questions from my commissioners? If
Nope.
I will entertain a motion on Christina Stocks.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the PCN for Christina Stocks, promoting her to a 12D classification.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, what's next?
Great. So then both of my full-time public health nurses, Cheryl and Marlene, they were hired on the same date. So they have the same 1-year anniversary as well. They are great to be around. They do really good with our clients. Their personalities are crazy fitting with each other. They've really just changed the face of our department, and we just continue to get great remarks of how well they're doing. So I'm asking that both of them get promoted to 21D on the grade and step chart. That way they would be considered a public health nurse 2 position at that point as well.
Okay, this would be Marlene Miller and Cheryl Vincent. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
I will entertain a motion on both of those unless any of you have any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the PCNs for Marlene Miller and is it Beverly?
No,
No, I'm
Cheryl.
sorry, Cheryl Vincent, promotion to 21D, effective 6/28/2020, as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you very much, Shaylee, and thank your staff for all the hard work they're doing also.
Yeah, I sure will. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. John Forsue, are you online?
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, John.
I guess we're just going to continue from where we left off a week ago, and this was on variance case 2020-03. We recessed last week because the commissioners had some concerns, and so we'll just continue from where we left off last week.
Sounds great.
We had some issues, and I don't know, commissioners, you can help me out here, but we had some issues on the easement and also on the lagoon.
And property owners addressed both of those. There was an easement in the deed. I just didn't see it because it was identified as a parcel. So that'll be taken care of, and they'll be taking care of a statement from the farmer property owner about the lagoon. So both issues have been addressed.
Okay. Board members have any more questions?
No.
No.
If not, the board will now deliberate the special use. I will remind the board of their choices provided under the Kansas State statute for board actions: approval, disapproval, override and approval, override and disapproval, or return or table. So the board will now deliberate.
Well, the planning and zoning never deliberated, so it wouldn't be an override, would it?
Rick, would that be?
Correct.
Yeah. So Johnny, it would not be an override.
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I just make a motion that we approve and accept the variance 2020-03 and resolution, what number?
What's the number?
Well, it won't be, it's just for the chairman. The chairman would sign resolution variance 2020-03 only. If you look at your signature box, it's only for the chairman to sign.
Okay.
So authorize the chairman to sign the variance resolution.
So do
Okay.
you need a head count then too? No. Okay, it just needs a motion and a second.
Okay, I make a motion that the chairman sign the variance 2020-03 resolution.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, John.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good week.
You too. Oh, John, do you have another one? You have a non-elected person. You have non-elected
Tom.
personnel.
I think Tom's going to talk about it because Jared will be answering to him more time now.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, John.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have Undersheriff Skylar Christians?
Yes, I'm here. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, yes, we can.
Oh, apologies. I don't have any video today, but I do have audio that works, so that's great. What I've given to you guys is a packet of information and quotes and documentation for a project that we've been working on for several years, and that's to put computers in the car. This is an MDT quote, is what they call them, MDTs. And this also has mobile software so they can complete reports while they're inside the vehicle. They're able to run driver's licenses and tags. This will really improve a lot of field work and performance that they can do versus having to come back to the office, especially with us working in a rural setting. The first quote you'll see attached to there is from CDWG, and CDW is the person that we decided to go with to do supplies for the computers. So the quote there that you see in the amount of $66,278.55, that is for the computers as well as the mounting hardware that is needed to put them inside the vehicle. Plus there's also extended warranties for the computers themselves. I should have sent you guys inside your package. You should have saw the specs for the computers. All that was gone through with Jeff Butler as well. He's helped me step in step the entire way on this project. So everything's been kind of vetted through him as far as the speed and strength of the computers and longevity to make sure that they'll last the 5 years minimum. The second quote you see in there is from TWD, and they are supplying what they call a bullet modem that goes inside the car. It's a little bit bigger than a cell phone. And then they're also supplying the shark fin antenna, which will give it cellular service or connect to the cellular service. The price for those shark fin antennas and modems is $9,464. Paired with all this, you'll see Verizon is the company that we chose to look at for cell service. They honestly have the best coverage in this area for rural setting to make sure that everybody can stay connected. The charge for that is $519.87 per month to operate the 13 computers, or $6,238.44 per year. This is for unlimited data, and they also get priority for first responder. So that would take care of basically everything from computer to hardware in the car to cell service. Now, installing software onto the computers is necessary to keep them safe and also to meet Kansas CJIS compliancy. We've got a quote in here for NetMotion. NetMotion is going to be your software that helps with safety and connectivity. Jeff Butler talked to quite a few of them about the NetMotion with Verizon. He's a little more familiar with it than I am, to be honest with you. They discussed all that, and they decided that the Platinum package is the one that would be sufficient for our use. The annual cost of that, and that's an annual cost, is $1,352.52. Another software that we're going to have to get is called AirWatch. This helps push automatic updates for Windows and also helps with security updates to make sure that we don't get hacked or any of our information doesn't get hacked. And the cost annually for that is $1,017.12. The annual price that we're looking at right now for operation is the $8,608.08. That's what we're seeing as the annual yearly fees that it's going to cost to operate these MDTs in the county. And the final one is from SmartCop, and that number's a slightly bit off. The quote that I gave you, I'm still trying to get them to drop it down a little bit since we've had some issues with the COVID when it comes to getting them down, because they're out of Pensacola, Florida. So it's been a little hard to get them down to do the training, and they're going to knock a few $1,000s off that price. So you will see a little bit of a drop in that later as the actual bill comes in if we're able to do this, which they've already saved us some money right now with dropping the price a little bit because they're not going to have to make a second trip if we end up doing the MDTs. This will allow us to do the in-house RMS and the mobile RMS all at the same time for training, which will save them a trip from Pensacola and us having to pay per diem costs. There is the 5% annual increase yearly, as we've expected with other softwares that we've looked at and purchased. But this should bring our total, give or take, around $114,034.78. The only other expense is CJIS tokens, which is what they need in order to access to run driver's licenses and tags. Those are $55 each and valid for 3 years. We've already had everybody take their limited access tests for these, so we are ready and able to buy those at any time.
Okay, that's a lot of information in a short time, Skylar.
Yeah, I apologize. It is. And it was a lot to gather. And like I said, Jeff Butler, I have to praise him for helping me with this project, as it's been a very, very long one.
Commissioners, are there any questions while they're thinking here? On the operations, you give a number of, what was that, 8,000?
For annual payments, yes, this
Yeah.
is for Verizon Wireless, the NetMotion software, and for AirWatch. It's around $8,608.08.
Okay, that was my question. That figure might go up a little bit each year. You had, one of those had a 5% increase each year, is that correct?
Not on that. That actually is just for connectivity and also for security and pushing NetMotion. What that does is it allows us to transfer information through cellular data to our servers here. So it helps with that flow. So this is literally just to connect and to be able to operate. The 5% annual increase would run under Smart Cop, which we already have that anyway with the regular RMS for in-building, and that has the 5% annual increase. But yes, I do think that 8,608.08 will probably be a little bit higher because that doesn't have any other fees or anything like that Verizon may charge or NetMotion may charge, if there is any. I know we're tax exempt, but I don't know if they have anything else that they do that may add to that. But right now, that's the standing number.
Okay.
And this was all budgeted for, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
And this is for 13 computers, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Skylar, how long, what's the time frame to get all this completed and installed and running?
30 to 60 days to get the laptops in. That's what I've been told by CDW. Hopefully we'll be able to get them a little bit quicker. But I have talked to our deputy Ottensmeyer that does a lot of the vehicle installations. We still have a few things to discuss, but he seems like he'll probably be willing to help us with installation. And I have a couple other people that are knowledgeable about installing these brackets for the computer docks. I think within the 60 days we can get them in and probably have them in within a couple of weeks after that. But the main thing is I'm waiting on those people from Smart Cop to come down to install the software on the computers and also in the building. And since they're out of Pensacola, we're just waiting for there to be a little bit of a lift in restriction on air flights for their company.
And as far as we purchase new vehicles in future years, this can all be transferred over, is that correct?
What I purchased or what I have quoted here is mostly for SUVs. So as long as we stay close to the SUV market, we shouldn't have an issue transferring some of this. Now, I can't promise everything on that just because if there's a change in any kind of a size of cabin or if they change any kind of seat bracketing, because these basically will mount down to the bottom bolts of a seat and they come up and mount on the side of the console as well. So I don't expect a large change. And if it does, it may just be buying some new brackets versus having to buy a whole new setup.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of training that goes involved to learn how to use all this?
We have some training, yes. I mean, they'll have 3 days of solid training for the RMS software that they'll have to learn, which we'll all have to learn that anyway, since we've got that coming. But as far as the vehicle computers, a lot of these guys have actually already had experience at other agencies with these, so they're somewhat known to have some skill with it. But yeah, we'll have a little bit of learning curve for a little while with it. I don't see more than maybe a week of training total.
Okay.
Skylar, what's the difference in requirements for the NetMotion versus a Smart Cop?
The Smart Cop is the mobile RMS software, report management software. The NetMotion is what helps feed that information from the RMS software to our server in building. To kind of reflect a little bit, see, we have our in-building servers will have the RMS software installed here, right? It'll keep our database with all of our reports, our information, our stolen property list, warrant list, and so on. What that NetMotion does is, from my understanding, is it helps push that information over to the server and allows the server to push the information back through CGIS compliancy.
It's a VPN software that allows secure connection and also
Okay, the VPN. Okay, I got you.
So Skylar, each one of those has a password. how do they get into the system? Each one of the sheriff's officers, they have a password?
Well, part of the authentication process, some of the software will do that with the NetMotion with the VPN, but they're also built in with RFID card readers, is what we use to get inside of our building here. So as long as they have their work ID, they should actually be able to swipe that and access the computer.
Oh, okay. Okay, any other questions?
Okay, so what's the total price of the equipment? You had $8,608.08 for operation cost, but what's the total for the equipment?
$114,034.78.
Okay, so we'll need a motion on that, plus then we'll also need a motion on the annual price of, what was that, 8,000?
Be $8,608.08.
Okay,
It was 114,000, how much?
$114,034.78.
Okay.
And did that, what about the tokens? You mentioned something about tokens, Skylar.
Yes, they're $55 each. And like I said, they're valid for 3 days. So we'll have to buy 13 tokens at $55, which we have that, like I said, budgeted as well. We were going to try to break that up into 2 payments. That way we could spread them out. So that way they're not all due at the same time every 3 years. So that would be $715 addition. But that would be, like I said, every 3rd year.
Okay. Okay. $715 and every year, is that correct?
Every 3.
Every 3 years.
Okay. So the tokens allow the operators to get on the system, is that it?
Through open phones, which is how they run the flags.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's their token that allows them a password connection to the KPI database.
Yeah.
Do you hear Jeff, Skylar?
Yes, I do. As
Okay.
you can tell, there's a lot of working parts in this kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
Don't spill a large cherry Coke over the top of it.
you're right. Good thing we have the extended warranty on it. So that should help a lot of it. And those computers are pretty well built. If you saw that they're all sealed up because they're a tough book basically,
Yeah.
and they have a waterproof membrane top on them with a backlit keyboard. So if they spill a pop on there, they better pray that they can dump it in rice and get it fixed for me.
So on the computer, does that stay in the vehicle all the time, Skylar?
Yes.
Okay.
In order for connectivity, yes, they'll have to stay in the vehicle.
But yeah, and what I'm saying is if the vehicle's setting for a day or something, it still stays in there. Is that correct?
We're going to kind of look at that a little bit. I mean, obviously, I don't want to expose these to the elements more than necessary. We've talked to the sheriff a little bit about making a policy that if you're going to be out of the vehicle for days off or on vacation, that you probably remove that laptop. One, just for security purposes, to make sure no one tries to steal it, break out a window and steal the computer, but also to make sure that we don't leave it in extreme hot and cold if we had to.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, you ready for a motion?
Yes.
I'll try to make a motion here.
Okay. Skylar will help you out if you can't.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we purchase the equipment for the mobile, what do we call that, MDT?
That's correct, sir.
Yes.
Okay, for the MDT system for $114,034.78. And the operating cost of $8,608.08 with $55 tokens purchased for a total of $715.
Did we cover it all, Skylar?
You got it. You got it right on the dot.
All right.
I'll second the motion before we change our mind.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks,
Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Skylar. Yep. Okay. Janet Cagle, Community Corrections. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Commissioners. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am presenting a administrative assistant performance evaluation along with the PCN. This is a probationary review for Luann Laswell. She's currently working in the Harvey County office.
Okay, she's a new employee. This is her end of probation. Whose position did she take, replace?
That would have been Jeannie Drake's.
Drake, yeah, okay. Right, okay.
Looks like her evaluation looks okay.
Yeah, she's done very well in the 6 months she's been here, Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the PCN for Luann Laswell, end of probation, effective date May 31st, 2020 is presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Janet.
Have a good day.
Yes, you too.
Okay. Do we have Tom on the line? Tom Kramer, Public Works Director.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
I have one item today, and it's approve the purchase of two 8-foot diameter by 46-foot aluminized corrugated metal pipe for the bridge replacement at bridge number 023180, which is Overland Road at 2nd Avenue.
This is the one we have closed right now. Is that correct?
Correct. It's been closed because the pile are failing on it. Just to make a note, that structure was built in 1920. So I'm pretty sure the county got their money's worth on that one. My guess is these pipes won't last as long as that bridge did. But if we keep our fingers crossed, it might.
It probably won't be our worries though.
I'm pretty sure it won't be, but you never know.
Okay, and they had to special make these, is that correct, J&J Drainage?
They're not special made. They just, when they have enough pipe to order, they'll roll it all. So that's kind of the delay on it, is waiting until they have enough to make some.
So when they deliver them, do they deliver them right down to the bridge site?
I would assume that's what we're going to have done, Keith. If things fall in our favor, we may go pick them up. We've done it both ways. So, but that's what the plan would be, is when we can get in there and do the work.
Okay.
And that's the biggest delay, is been able to get onto the road to get in and do the work. So it's a township road, and it's essentially a 2-track road. And I don't think there's a lot of maintenance on the road itself.
Yeah, you had a picture of it last week when we had our work session.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions?
So these are 8-foot diameter. Are they round or elliptical?
They're round, Ron, and I think John got prices on a 7-foot diameter pipes and 8-foot diameter pipes, and but we went with the round one. So when we set, what I'm asking for is the 8-foot diameter, and that will set down in the stream bed just a little bit. State likes to see those embedded in the creek flow line by 1 foot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll have that in there that deep or not, but that'll give us some room to get the road over the top of it. But what it also does is it gets that flow up into a higher point in the cross section of that pipe.
Yeah.
So,
You're not pouring no concrete slab for these.
no. We'll remove that bridge that's there. We'll excavate out to get the pipes in, and we'll set the pipes and backfill them, and hopefully we'll be in good shape.
Okay.
I'll entertain a motion then, and the total price on that, Tom, was,
It's $13,524 for the 8-foot diameter.
for two of them.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of two 8-foot diameter by 46-foot aluminum luminized corrugated metal pipe purchased from J&J Drainage Products, not to exceed $13,524.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Anything else, Tom?
We have the personnel issue, or not issue, but Jared on the summer help.
Oh, okay.
That was listed on John's item. And we're going to have him move over to our department on the, his last would be the 31st, which is Sunday. So starting June 1st, he would be full-time seasonal summer help.
Jared Curtis.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for a motion?
Yep, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the PCN for Jared Curtis as presented, moving him to a full-time seasonal Public Works Maintenance 1.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
I also wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. Our milling contractor has moved in and set up his equipment out on Pawnee Road. Hopefully right now they're milling. He brought his big machine. It's a 12-foot, 6-inch cutting head. Hopefully we'll be out overlaying starting tomorrow. He wanted us to give him a day to move away so we could start where he started at. And I think he said he would mill a 1.5 miles both lanes. And then that way there wouldn't be any interruption between his vehicles and our vehicles.
So do you close the road completely for this, Tom, or how do you handle that?
We'll close it in the areas we're working. So where he's milling, it'll be closed, and where we're milling or we're overlaying, we'll close it. So there'll be portions of the road that are open. We'll warn everybody at the ends that the road's going to, but they'll still be able to get around on the side roads and what have you.
And they're starting on 21st and going west, is that correct?
I think so, Keith. I think that's where they staged their equipment, was out on 21st.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have that, I'd say about 2 weeks for us to finish up in there. Then I think they'll move down to 27th, and that's probably about a week and a half for us. And then their last thing they're going to do is Main Street in Canton. And I would assume that we'll be over in Canton if everything works pretty good by the 8th of June. So, and that's if everything works in our favor, and it usually doesn't.
Tom, I appreciate that weekly schedule you put in here.
I got to give
Somebody put
credit
that
to
in
Kevin, and he keeps you guys up to date on that stuff. So hopefully that works out for y'all, and we're in good shape.
Tom, I talked to you last week a little bit. You might brief the commissioners on that, that one truck we had a problem with, hydraulic pump. Is that correct? And you found one?
Yes, our old distributor truck, the pump was out of that. We had it in Wichita, and they sent it to St. Louis to get the pump rebuilt. Just having a hard time communicating with them and getting the information back and forth, and whether they can find parts, whether they have parts, which is tying us up. Etnauer, the company that designed the truck and built the tank, found a new pump for it. There's an update for that pump. So we went ahead and bought that new pump. They shipped it to us, should be here whenever it's delivered today. The pump with the update was $7,000. So we went ahead and bought that pump. I can't even tell you where we're at with the old pump and the company that has that. Just having a hard time getting communication with them, whether it's tore down, whether it's in pieces, whether it's not been looked at yet. So anyway, hopefully by the end of today, end of tomorrow at the latest, we'll be whole again with that old distributor truck.
Have you approached Bina on negotiations with the other distributor, the new distributor truck?
Yes, and I haven't had any communication with him since the day we talked about that, sent him all the information we had, which, I told him before we sent it probably wouldn't help him a lot. But his suggestion was that we not use that truck, that we lean towards a rental. And Kevin did check on the company that had the rental, and it was available in July, which really is not going to do us a whole lot of good right now. But if we can get our old distributor truck going so we can shoot the tack, we'll be okay until chip sealing. That would give time to find something else, or hopefully get the issues resolved on that new truck.
Well, we need to negotiate that new truck. We want our money back out of it. We'll keep the chassis and buy a new tank system.
I'm in 100% agreement with that, Ron. I think that was the way I communicated to Brian. And again, I haven't talked to him about it, but our issues just keep piling up with that. And I think we would be better off to be rid of it than to, I don't think there's any way we'll get 20, 25 years out of that thing, not with the issues we're having. So
Right.
What would be the time length then to get a different one?
I would guess if a decision could be made relatively quick, we would have to put an order in for with that Etnauer. It would be next year at the earliest before we could get it.
Yeah.
So I think we're still going to have to do a rental no matter what. And I think by the time you look at the cost of that rental and the issues we had with old 81 bypass out there with the chip seal, we're dang near in the price of of that tank itself. So that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Okay, well, keep us updated on that, Tom.
Yes, I will. I think we're, scouring the countryside and beating the bushes to see if we can find something to rent. And, the bad thing about distributor trucks is everybody's wanting to rent one at this time of year, whether they just rent the equipment or they have breakdown issues. Everybody, they become pretty valuable for 3 or 4 months. And that's going to be the hard part with it. If for some reason we couldn't find a rental, we can still chip seal with one distributor truck. It just takes us twice as long. It'll stretch that out from 10 days, probably to upwards of a month. The drawback is, in our process, the time frame it takes to load that truck from the tanker, you're not losing that when you have two of them. You lose that when you have one. So, in a day's worth, we might shoot 8 tanker loads of oil. My guess, we will be down to 4, maybe 5 at the most. And with the volume of oil that we do, you go from 10 days probably to 20 or 25. And then that starts backing into your overlay program and
Well,
will come in. So
yeah, and the weather doesn't always cooperate either, so.
yes, you're correct. So
Any other questions for Tom?
Nope.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
all right, thank you guys.
Okay, let's go ahead and do checks and claims. Rick, on page 25, immunization, where that $4,180, that was all the deliveries to Topeka, is that correct? That we've occurred so far? Yes, $4,180.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom's already off. On page 21, that GW Van Keppel hydraulic cylinder filter head assembly returned $4,388. My confusion is the word returned. Does that mean it cost us that much to ship it back or what?
No, they had that hydraulic, they bought a hydraulic cylinder, and then I think then part of that was return of some of the filter head assembly stuff. So the net, it's a net trade-off, I believe.
Okay, all right.
That's that outfit in Wichita, isn't it? Or where?
I can't tell you for sure.
They're Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City is what I was thinking, but
Okay.
I didn't know whether that was that cylinder. He said he was still needed on that case loader or,
I think so.
okay. And then the next page, 22, Summit Truck Group. Was that the paint truck? That are installing that paint equipment?
Didn't have a bunch of work they had to do up front end of the trucks. With that core deposit, the radiator.
Oh.
I think they had a bunch of work in front of
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember him talking about that.
What was the problem? They had to all do up there in front of it.
Then on Valero, on page 24, we've got 46,000. But for asphalt, but I didn't know that we had started asphalt yet.
Oh, remember they put all that liquid in the tank to start to do that?
Oh,
They bring all that liquid in and start.
Well, yeah, this is for the overlay, isn't that correct?
But even though this isn't coming out of it.
The asphalt plant?
This is in your tower.
Okay,
Asphalt plant itself, not your transport stuff for your
Okay.
chip seal and stuff like that.
but they have been patching with asphalt already
Yes.
You know.
yes.
Okay.
on West Pawnee.
All right. Okay.
Smaller back.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Then on page 29, under client reimbursement on community corrections, adult substance abuse center of Kansas, 17,000. April fees. Is that a flat rate 17, no matter how many people we have go through it, or is that per
We'll
person?
spend in that anywhere from 11 to 17,000.
Okay, I'm happy, I guess.
I didn't have anything
No, I
else.
didn't either.
I'll entertain a motion then.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the checks and claims and payroll as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, and then we had some adds and abates right at the first part.
Yep.
These were all ads, weren't they?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Kind of nice.
So on Ray's Peterbilt truck, he's got tax year 18 and tax year 19. He hasn't had to buy them for tax year 20 yet? Or because that's on time?
Maybe that's not considered an ad for 20.
The taxes are paid in January for tags. Is that 19 or is that 20?
19.
Okay, so he's up to date with doing the 19 years.
And then you take the word for the next.
You gotta put,
By tax in November, we'll get for next year.
no, on trucks, you buy them in January, February. But I paid the personal property tax on the truck in
In
December
December.
of
And that was for last
19,
year.
for 19, but I use that for my tags that I buy in January and February. So he's up to date then, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Any other question? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the ads as presented.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, we had a lease agreement for Canton Tower site.
Stands out, that's for sure.
I counted how many times he went around to make the beginning, and it's 5 times. I wonder if he does that the same every time.
That's what I was wondering.
Couldn't get the penny worth.
Anyway, where is this tower located now in Canton?
It's at the burn site there on Railroad Street.
From the fire department straight east, about 2 blocks.
Okay, so it's east of Main.
Mhm.
Okay,
You can see it from 56 Highway.
and, okay. All right,
And the price stays the same for, what is it, 15 years?
Yep.
Okay. $50 a month for first 15 years.
We'll probably just have to check. for
Yeah,
$600.
I would agree.
It's all.
And the mayor's already signed it, so we just need to sign it and it's official.
Let's see, it just needs the chairman's signature.
Yeah, I'll make the motion for the chairman to sign the lease agreement between the city of Canton and the county, effective the 10th day of February 2020.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay,
We probably.
did you have anything else, Rick? I think that covers everything we had on the agenda. Okay,
We'll have, your old mill will still be closed to the old mill will be closed to the general public till June 1st.
okay,
The board will not have a commission meeting next week. And then the following week, you'll go back to your regular meeting place at the county building on the 5th floor of the county building. And that would be probably social distancing still, but we do have chairs set up there, but the general public is welcome to attend that meeting. Not sure whether you'll still be on. Probably not on Zoom and all like that. That would be the.
okay. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries.